It's about that time again that we start talking about the wipe to really define and show what's what for anybody that has any questions, which I know is a lot of you guys. First, though, we did get a Nikki leak yesterday of the one and only Desert Eagle, the Deagle on the firing range. Nikita posted this on his Twitter and mentioned that they are, quote, working on the .15 patch 24/7. I believe it is the longest wipe yet, end quote. I don't know about you guys, but it sure does feel like it. We can now presumably expect the Desert Eagle along with the Molotovs, which Nikita posted about a few days ago on Twitter as well, in-game come this next wipe. Thanks again to these most recent, what we here call Nikki leaks over on Twitter. That's all we got for recent news. Now today we're talking timing, strategy, and prep for the wipe. Timing being how we can know whether it's weeks, days, or hours away. Strategy being what to look for and how to play in the first few hours of a fresh wipe, as well as how to prepare for it, such as having the proper links for tracking sites, the wiki, and even optimizing your networking for better raids. Which, while we're on that subject, something that will help with that is connecting to better servers for you in particular. If you are looking at the server selection from the launcher for Escape from Tarkov, you'll see the region, but there's actually dozens of servers underneath that layer that you cannot select anymore, and that's to avoid people from purposefully selecting dead servers and trying to stream snipe. And I'm sure a bevy of the downside is that you might get on a overcrowded server and or a server that is performing badly for you. A tool that allows you to fix that is GearUp Booster. Especially if you normally have 100+ ping, GearUp will put you in the best position to have much less, most times significantly less, if this is something that you struggle with, because GearUp optimizes your connection so that you don't have to suffer through bad network infrastructure. If it's not doing it automatically, you can also change your servers manually. It's all super easy to use, if not automatic. Even if you have bad internet carriers, it still works and works well. I have great internet and I'm not even too far away from a server, getting round trip times of 60 to 70 without GearUp, which isn't too bad, but GearUp got it down to a stable 50, sometimes 40. And if you're playing at a high level like I am, the difference is actually noticeable even then. GearUp also makes your network connection much smoother. No more drastic spikes from 200 to 50 if that's something that you're struggling with. It's easy to use where in just one click you're ready to go. You don't have to set anything else up. If you want to experience the benefits of lower and stable ping for free with reductions as low as I'm getting, for PC, check out GearUp Booster, the PC link below, and even on consoles, check out the console link below. Thank you to GearUp Booster for sponsoring this video and making a great tool. Now first, for timing, we need to understand BSG are not punctual and they do not communicate well at all while also lying from time to time. The best way to wait for the wipe is to forget it's even close at all until you see everybody say, it's tomorrow, it'll be on the front of all the thumbnails and all that stuff. And then what you do is you look at your schedule and figure out what the best time to play is for you. Between PvE and the arena connection, this wipe will have a very different landscape this time around, which is unknown territory, but more on that later. So that is the best way to do this, but if you are insane like me or any of the Sons of Soon, then what you look at are the events, particularly the pre-wipe events. The title pre-wipe event has been smeared because people want a headline that will get clicks while BSG have been wanting to keep us busy. There are end wipe busy work events and pre-wipe events though. If there is a reward to the event that is an in-game item, it's not a pre-wipe event because when do they expect you to use that reward if the game is wiping? So if we get another event like we've gotten a couple of weekends in a row, other than this weekend, which we'll talk about in a second, and it has in-game items attached to it, we have another week or so to wait. My best guess is they had one for this weekend that they didn't end up doing because they didn't trust the infrastructure after that accidental wipe and compensation that went out. Or maybe they're a little bit worried that they're going to even need another week on top of this one. So maybe they're using the compensation and the accidental wipe as the event or because something. I'm not sure. As I said, I know for a fact that they were testing something, but I realized there's still room for it to be a software error of some kind while they were testing. And even though somebody did have to hit that button, the way the button works might have unknowingly been changed or broke. I'll give them that. These things happen. It's either that or they want to sell the lie a bit more. I don't know. Could be either. Regardless, though, the message stays the same. If there's an event where we get an in-game item as a reward, it's not pre-wipe. It's just busy work. If the reward is the gameplay itself that you get from a change that is made by the event and it happens on a daily basis, that is a pre-wipe event because that is a go out with a bang kind of situation. We're talking all bosses spawning on all maps or maybe all of them on one map, including raiders and the cult. Then the traders get fully unlocked and everything on sale, that kind of stuff. I know it can get confusing, but that's the whole reason I'm here is to help navigate that stuff. For some reason, that's all floating in my brain. as well as I'm sure some of the veterans of Tarkov have developed an eye for these things. So we're not always right because BSG makes mistakes, BSG change things, BSG lie. A lot of different things can happen, but at least we're always close. Between the Nikita tweet saying they're working and the lack of any event whatsoever this weekend, you guessed it, we do have longer to wait. It's not like it's going to be tomorrow. This is why when Nikita initially said early August back in June, I said late August, because no matter what BSG say, give it a bit more time, so you'll be pleasantly surprised if they're on time, while be prepared for a delay. The real pre-wipe will be daily events, and even then something can still break and they'll delay longer. A few years ago, they turned on the fire sale and didn't wipe for 2 weeks because they found a bug. Stuff like that can always be possible, which is why now I think what they do is be certain that they have a full release candidate or a release candidate before they even start the pre-wipe. Maybe they found something with the test that they were doing the other day that caused the accidental wipe. Who knows? But I digress. Again, the real pre-wipe will be the dailies, and if they use the same pattern as before, it will come along with artwork to support a slight lore-based reason for the wipe. Things like the UN making an announcement or something about the weather in the Norvinsk region. There's ways to tell if you're an insane person like me or anybody in the Sons of Soon. Bottom line is, we'll know when we see it, and that's when we'll give everybody the heads up. As I said before though, for the normal, sane person, just wait until you see all of us say tomorrow and then pay attention, because until we hear that, it is a hallucinogenic fueled guessing game. We've got plenty of distractions right now too. We've got Arena Breakout, we've got Hawk Ops, and you guys are into MMOs, we got World of Warcraft. It'll be fine. Come back to the world of Tarkov. Now that we have the timing down, let's talk strategy. There's 3 significant changes with this wipe that weren't here 8 months ago. Yes, you heard that correctly. And just as a reminder, 8 months ago with the last wipe, we've got PMC Karma, Arena connection to the base game, and PvE. PMC Karma being important because it will affect the way that we play if we don't want to be hunted by the new boss or have him mess with us by, when I mentioned him earlier in that last video, I forgot about this bit, putting the tripwires on bodies. So if you go to check a body and don't notice the tripwire that Partisan has left there for you, you're gonna die. That was something that Nikita's talked about before and I forgot about. So that's gonna be a thing. What was speculation as a reminder is, where else are those tripwires going to be? Maybe that's the only place that he uses the tripwires. We'll have to wait and see. Now I talked to Nikita this morning and the best I got out of him was we will know what affects PMC Karma before the wipe. What he didn't answer is whether or not killing your own faction members will affect it. Reason why being that makes that boss anti-PvP, and that's the core reason for the hate that's gotten. After a bit of back and forth on Twitter while I was writing this script this morning, I think it makes sense that the only reason why they won't just come out and say that PMC Karma will be affected by you killing your own faction members is because of that hate. They know there's going to be loads of people loving that, and then there's going to be lots of indifferent people. So the only really reason for them not saying it is if it's going to be a thing. At least that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm speculating on here. Maybe they just want to be mysterious and maybe they want to keep us, you know, guessing or something like that. But if you think about it, loads of people are going to love them for adding PMC Karma and not having it be faction versus faction affects it. So why would they be quiet about it? There's real potential for it to ruin the game, but in my opinion, now's the time to try stuff like that. We got this far because Nikita and the guys had their crazy ideas for a game while we're in this wiped testing environment. We should be trying to work out the good and the bad ideas, no matter how crazy they are. If it goes badly, just drop it or change it like we did with the armor plates and hitbox changes this way. That is something that you absolutely will need to look out for. PMC Karma is coming for sure. We're just going to have to wait and see what exactly affects it. We may even get a full list written out in the patch notes while the white patch is being uploaded. Something we'll discuss in that video once the time comes. Next is the Arena connection. That is significant because it splits the community, potentially in a good way, especially when we're waiting on the servers, for fantastic rewards. In a matter of hours, people will be running around the fresh wipe with 20 plus gear from the traders. As of this patch, you can level both your PMC and your PMC skills in Arena and transfer millions of rubles to the base game. I was able to get to level 17 in about 6 hours and easily could have gone to 20 in the same day, but I was just looking for proof of concept and found it shockingly easy. There is no question in my mind that that is the way to go, and that is what I will be doing this wipe. I will not be playing a single raid until at least level 20, potentially level 42, just for the memes. There is, however, the snowball of getting in early and getting the early quests done before everybody else. You won't have to deal with the queue times as much, and you are less likely to die running to the same truck or to the same letter in the middle of the woods. Instead, you can be camping those people or moving through other parts of the map unopposed. That has been the real core of all this popularity, especially on like Twitch and YouTube with streamers with this game, because their literal job is to play this game. So we get to play constantly for hours, for 48 hours straight. On top of that, especially if there's like Twitch drops and stuff, you get even more incentive to do it. And then that leaves you super powerful on top of being really good, while everybody else is still in their first few hours in their first couple of gear sets. So Snowball is very real, but with somebody with a 9 to 5, Arena might be the way to go. And PvE for sure is the way to go for most people, which we'll talk about that in a second. With the availability of the gear from the much higher level traders and the cash to buy it with, it's going to be interesting to say the least. Not to mention, I'm confident I'll have played 3 or 4 games of Arena by the time most get into their second raid. The benefits just keep stacking. The pure fun of playing the game, playing something instead of waiting to get into a raid is prime for me. Not to mention, if those first few raids go badly, because in Arena, for sure, you might not play well, but the skill-based matchmaking is going to be reset, and at least you're getting something. Personally, I'm going to be playing the free-for-all mode, so I don't have to worry about having a team. I'm going to be doing it the instant the wipe is live. You'll get to see how that goes here on the channel. I'll be live, as well as over on Twitch. I'll be streaming on both YouTube and Twitch that day. Now for PvE, as another and possibly more significant split to the community. PvE will not wipe unless you manually wipe it yourself. I do not know how that works when they add new stuff, but apparently that's how it goes. They just add it. I'm sure everybody that has access to PvE has played it, but what we don't know is who won't play the fresh wipe in PvP because they'd rather play PvE where their progress is saved. It won't be 0, and it may be as high as a third or more of the normal wipe day community. I don't know. We'll have to see what kind of effect that it has, as this will be the first wipe. Not to mention the people that just won't bother at all because PvE is a thing. They might not even take part in the wipe at all. Now, the positives would be less waiting in queues, because unless you're in a remote part of the world, the long queue times are from a lack of availability of slots on a server. It's because the servers are overloaded with people. So if less people are playing, then that means less waiting. So if you want to just play the new content at your own pace, and hell, not even need a grind gear for it, you can just pop onto your PvE account and crack straight into it. All right, let me say it right. Crack straight into it. Crack straight into it. Croc straight into it. So I'll be one of the Arena people leaving room on the servers, and I'm sure plenty will be playing PvE, leaving more room, and we'll have to pay attention to the karma system. That's the strategy for me. Let me know what you guys plan to do come wipe day this time around. Then last but not least, we have the preparation. The first couple hours is always a shit show. If you can mentally accept the fact that you won't be the first person in the world to do something, then finish your workday or your class or feed the kids, get some proper sleep, because in my opinion, it's not worth it. But you do you. Another possibility is the patch takes longer to upload, which they've been having happen a lot lately, actually. So even though they'll say it'll be ready at 8 a.m. or whatever time they tell us when it happens, it end up being extended much longer. Last time they actually said it would be 8 a.m. and they just needed some more time. It ended up being like several more hours, when I'm pretty sure like it was like 5 minutes after the patch was supposed to go live. It wasn't live. We're super confused. And then they tell us they just need more time. And then it ended up taking several hours. We're not going to know. These guys, they're not winning any awards for communication, all right? It's just not worth it. Do you. Don't make any new enemies. Don't miss work. Don't not feed yourself or your kids or whatever. Just do what you need to do. Don't worry about it. It'll be here when you get back. My 2 cents on that. Just be as comfortable mentally and physically as you can be. If you need a few hours to do that, then do it. It's important. Trust me. Next up of this is the resources. We have the wiki for the latest on the quests, of which my Discord, specifically the Sons of Soon portion, will be helping find all the new stuff. And you can tag along on Discord if you like. That's linked below. The wiki has some of the best maps as well for free. And if you pay attention to the recent changes tab, you'll see what's what with the new stuff. There's Tarkov Dev, which did shut down for the unheard stuff, but it's back now and is invaluable for market prices, item identification, and crafting. I'm not sure how quickly they'll be able to update everything, but if they're mining, it could be the first day. We'll see. There's Tarkov Tracker, which I have been using forever. It has all the most recent quests and hideout requirements tracked, so each time that you complete a quest or build a hideout upgrade, you know what you'll need or what you are missing. There will be several new hideout expansions this patch, though, so just keep that in mind. We also have that favorites tab now, which will be useful. However, with a fresh wipe, what's the point of favoriting like everything? You're going to need everything. So Tarkov Tracker can help with that. Then, last but not least, there's also GearUp again, which I for sure will be using to get the best connection that I can against all those sweaty Arena people. If you want to see my progress, again, I'll be live here on YouTube as well as on Twitch when the time comes. Twitch is linked below. You're already on the YouTube. So stay tuned. Speaking of timing, we have TwitchCon next month. BSG are going to be there. There's going to be some announcements. Going to be a lot of Tarkov people there. I'm looking for financial support so that I can afford to go. Thanks to you guys over on Patreon already for getting me halfway so far. If any of you on there are going to TwitchCon, be sure to reach out so that we can do a meetup. I'm going to bring some friends along like we did last year. Should be a good time. Link below to the Patreon if you're interested in helping me out. Thanks again to everybody that's already over there. But that is all for now, guys. For the minute-by-minute stuff, be sure to follow me over on Twitter or join the Discord, both linked below. Click all the buttons on the screen to support what I do. Check out my other channels for other games right here. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.